But man, I tell you, life sure is sure is cheesy. It really is freaking cheesy because it has nothing to do with what you know. It's like who you know. I mean, you got people that are like mayors of towns that can't even freaking function. You know, you got so many people that really don't even know what they're talking about. Yeah, life is just a freaking shit show. Yeah, you got like ice out there. You got freaking people protesting in different places of the country. You know, freaking overturning cop cars and shit. You got people that are like angry at everybody, and yeah, it's so freaking weird. I mean, makes me think about all this stuff I went through in the Marine Corps. Now, everything had to be a certain way. And then I got out into the civilian world and I was like, fuck, what a shit show. I got my first job. I was like, dude, this is a shit show. This is like a fucking, this is a joke. This is like a clusterfuck. I never had any respect for the civilian life. I worked as a civilian, as an electrician. I worked as a loader for Schwann's. I worked as a tow truck driver. But I never had any respect for the civilian life. I never saw it as being anything more than a bunch of bullshit. I always thought it was just freaking nonsense. Just a waste of time. Um, Except as an electrician, that was halfway decent. But everything else is like, it's just boring. It's just fucking boring. And people just talk to talk. We're all just a bunch of talking idiots. Wake up. All we do is to start talking. Wake up, drink coffee, just start talking. Yeah, 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 yeah. I need another cup of coffee. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how life is. It's like people even ever stop and think. Do they ever like ponder their life? Like I always thought about my options in life. I never just woke up and got a cup of coffee and just started going talking to anybody I could find on the street. I always thought methodically, okay, well, if I do this, I do this. I had to think long and hard before I went in the Marines, but I never just woke up and just started going freaking. That's how civilian life seems to me. It's just all these freaking noises. And it's just boring. Don't mind if I do. But as I get closer to the other side of the freaking playing field in this life, I realize that sure you could do whatever you want, but there comes a time when you're like, okay, I've done everything. What else am I going to do? What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? And you come to the conclusion that at some point in life you said, there's nothing left for me to do. And that's kind of where I've been that way for years. And I've just been like, well, whatever. But the reality is that the life, especially in America, is it's kind of boring. It's kind of tasteless. You get that taste in your mouth where it's like, this don't taste good. This tastes like shit. Even to the food. The food's like all salted down. It's bland. It's kind of gross. It just doesn't taste good. Even vegetables, even some of the foods, vegetables we eat, just just bland. Just doesn't taste good. Products, stuff you buy, just bland, boring. So, what is the point? What really is the point if you really start thinking about it? What is the real point of life? If you think about life, I'm going to get a little existential here. Imagine yourself as a bug. What does a bug think? Does a bug think, damn, we shouldn't have voted for that Queen Ant. She moved us to this shitty hill. No. Ant just thinks, I gotta find food. Or who knows? Maybe it's just looking for a mate. Who freaking knows what an ant thinks? I don't know. What does a fly think when he flies in your house? Fly looks around and goes, ooh. This looks like a good place to hang out. And then he comes in, he sits there up on the window. He's like, hey, that looks like a good place. I think I'm going to chill here for a while. And then old Mr. Human comes along because Mr. Human's always all uptight about something. Mr. Human sees a freaking fly up there on the ceiling or something. And freaking Mr. Human goes and kills the poor fly. That fly, he didn't know it was coming. I don't think he was thinking about much either. Wasn't thinking about paying no car insurance. Wasn't thinking about no registration. Wasn't thinking about his girlfriend. Maybe he was. Maybe there was a Mrs. Fly around somewhere. Well, Mr. Human had to go and freaking kill him. And it just goes to show how random that life really is. They say you are what you think. So if you think, I think I'll go eat a salad, that's fine, go eat a salad. You think, I think I'm going to do nothing today, then you don't do nothing today. But our brains don't really work that way, kind of like Mr. Fly. Mr. Fly is always like, I think I want to go do something, maybe I'll go fly into that house. So we're the same way. We're always searching for some kind of freaking goal, somewhere to be, something to do. I want to go over there. I want to go over there. What's that over there? We're always thinking. We never have the time to just sit and just be. Always planning, anticipating, scheming. But a lot of us are just always thinking, I should be somewhere else than where I am. But when you get to a certain point in life, you realize there's nowhere else to go. So what do? That's the big question. If you watch TV, you'll see that people have made enormous amounts of achievements by simply talking. Talking heads. Tony Robbins. Just a freaking talking head. But are they really saying anything that you don't already know? Probably not. Just talking out their ass. So the whole idea is there is no real purpose of life other than to live. And how you live decides on what you do. But when you get to a certain point in life where there's nothing left for you to do you die? Nobody wants to die before their time. I don't feel like dying yet. But then at the same time, a lot of times I don't feel like living. Dude, what's the point? We've already done everything. I've already worked tons of jobs. Already been in two different military services. What's the point? Some would say, well, it's time to relax. Take it easy. But that's not the way our minds work. Minds are always like, ooh, I gotta go over there. Now I gotta be over here. No, I wanna do that over there. So there is no real point. Hey, you could buy all kinds of stuff. You could buy all kinds of crap. You could buy freaking knickknacks for days. You could buy so much crap. Fill your house up full of crap. Stare at all the crap and go, ooh, look at all this crap I got. But the reality is you're really just one person having a human experience. So all the crap in the world is not going to really fill that void you have as a human, as a living creature. It may bring you comfort for a while, but it's obvious that given history, especially in the last 100 years, I think a lot of people don't really ever know what they're fucking doing in their life. I mean, tons of people smoke. Tons of people vape. I vape. Tons of people do drugs. But we never get the time to just sit and go, who am I? Who am I? Who's that guy looking back? I don't know. Sometimes you get to a point. Like, I don't even know who that guy is. Who's that guy looking at? Who is that? And I've had a lot of time to think about that because I'm retired. You know, like, what was the point of all that? What was the point of going in the service and being yelled at? There was no point. What was the point of getting married? There was no point. It didn't make sense. It's like to fly up on the fucking ceiling. It don't make sense. It just is. It just was. It just was what it was. It's all about living in the moment. And then time flies. You have one birthday, you have another birthday, you have another birthday, you get older and older and older and older. And the time's just going by and you're like, okay, that's 1 day, 2 days, 3 months, 1 year. What have I been doing all this time? And then we're all thinking about time. Everything's about time. Is it really about time? I don't know. What is time? Time is just a moment. Each moment is just another moment in time. And meanwhile, we're getting older and older and older. Sitting there questioning, why am I here? All I have is time. It's like being in a prison cell. Do I have the answers? No, I do not have the answers. I've driven across the country like almost 10 times. I've never figured out the answer. I've been to every freaking club you can imagine, every bar, every type of bar you can imagine. I've surfed big waves, rode bicycles, skateboards. I've lived in Japan. I've done so many different things. But who am I really? Just a freaking, like that fly, having an experience. Until eventually you get swatted down and you die. So your life really is not about everybody else. It's about what's going on within yourself. When you stop having the experiences of life, when you stop experiencing things, like me walking through Japan as a young man, drunk, looking for a beer machine, that was an experience. I enjoyed that experience. Or as a young man going to the strip clubs in San Diego. That was another experience. Most experiences like that are best done with other friends because it kind of sucks when you go by yourself. Because then you're kind of considered a creepy old fart or whatever, or even a young person. But the meaning of life, there is no particular meaning I've found in life. There is no real... The only thing I could think of is that the real meaning of life is love. And if you don't have love, then you really have nothing. If you got nobody that cares about you, then I mean, then there's no point in living. If there's no one to give a back rub to or tell them you love them, then there's no point in life. As shitty as you might feel, if you don't have anybody to care about you, then life's not really worth living. And the opposite is true for somebody that depends on you for their emotional needs. But is there any purpose in life? I've been looking for it for decades and I never really found it. I looked for purpose of life by buying a nice Camaro. I found nothing there. I looked for life. I looked for the meaning of life in strip clubs in my 20s. There was no meaning there either. There is no meaning in life other than just to live and maybe to be loved, because we are emotional creatures that need love and attention to keep living. If we don't have the love and attention, then we can really self-destruct pretty quickly. Regardless of how much we have, how much material stuff we have. You can have tons of stuff material-wise, but you could be completely dead inside. And if you're not the type of materialistic type of person, then you know, what are you looking for to make your life worth living? I mean, there's not a whole lot. You could read books by other people, but a lot of people don't like to read books. Everything's online nowadays. There is no point to this video. None, absolutely. It's just me rambling about my thoughts on about why we are alive, what is the purpose of our life, and is there any end goal? It's not like a football game. It's kind of like a marathon. So there is no, I mean, the end goal is the end result is probably laying in a hospital bed and taking your last breath and going, and then you die, like the fly. So I guess that's all I really had to say. I just wanted to put my thoughts into a video. Yeah. I was thinking maybe go drive 100 miles an hour in the car, but that doesn't sound like a good idea. Not today, anyway. All right, thanks for watching.